Hey guys, and welcome back to Torchlight. After last time, I went and did level 1 of the Shadow Vault again. So I gained a level up, which I'm going to distribute now. And I want full defense, and I'm putting my point into armor expertise. Because I want to be able to use these boots as soon as possible. In case I want to switch back to pistol and shield, I now have an improved pistol, basically, so this one and this one can go away. They sort of have additional properties, but right now I'm mostly caring about the raw damage, I guess. I also got this Cold Ember, which I'm going to put into my weapon. Increases ice damage, which means it gives it a chance to freeze and slow enemies, which is good. Then I'm stashing away the other stuff. Actually, all in all, might as well do something with these.
Oh, hello.
If I transmute 4 of the cracked, I just get 1 discolored.
Good journey.
I think the rarity, at least the first ones, are cracked, dull, discolored, and then normal. And then there's cut and polished and flawless, and I don't know which exact ones exist. I did gain a fair amount of potions. I'm putting them away for now because, as it stands, the 400 health ones are good enough. And I think in the story dungeon I'm not getting the improved ones yet, and I kind of want to preserve some space.
Hi there.
Can also sell these two, and now let's head back into the dungeon. And here we are, just where I left off. As you can tell, the enemies here are level 6, whereas I am level 12. Yep. So I am at the advantage because I have a higher level, which I want to preserve that advantage as much as possible, so I will be doing the leveling in the Shadow Vault fairly frequently. One thing I should mention is I died while doing the leveling. Since we're not in hardcore, it doesn't matter that much, but yeah, just thought I'd let you know. I did something relatively risky, which I'm not certain if I've talked about that game element yet, and I kind of don't want to until it comes up. So this might sound a little cryptic for now, but I did a fairly risky thing, which I would never do on a hardcore character, basically. But since I'm playing softcore, that's perfectly fine. One thing you should note, by the way, this lever, which I'm standing in front of right now, it doesn't have a, it's not clickable, basically. It still has that sort of, I don't know, that shining effect you see from time to time, depending on your resolution, of course. And here's another one. It's because this section here is not always crossed in the same direction. So the game just puts them together randomly, and sometimes you're going to be coming from this side here walking this way, and sometimes it's going to be the other way around. So there needs to be a lever on both sides of the bridge, so whichever side you come from, you can actually cross the bridge. And then the one on the other side is no longer clickable because it wouldn't do anything, but it's still there and still has that shining effect, like it would be clickable. This is something which was kind of changed in the second... well, not really changed in the second game. In the second game there's hidden switches, basically, which are... they don't have like... they don't have the text above them saying this is a clickable object. You just have to click on the right pixels, and then you're pulling the lever, you're pushing the button, stuff like that. But they don't exist in this game, so it's not like I'm missing a hidden area or something. These are just as I explained, because the area could be crossed in both directions. So yeah, if you played the second part, these will look like hidden floor tiles and such, and hidden switches, but they're not. And in the second part you really want to not miss them, because you get really cool treasure from them usually, especially you can get fairly valuable socket items. But the socketing system in this game is fairly basic. Aside from the standard sockets, which I've already gotten a few of, there's 7 or 9, I think 9 different colors of gem in this game, and that's it. There's no other socketing items, so it's a fairly basic system. It was enhanced in the second game, so that's why you really don't want to miss those bonus chests. Oh, unidentified boots, very nice. Or rather, not. I'm not using groovefish. All this. And I'm not interested in the 2-minute fish either. So as you can tell, because I am slightly over-leveled actually, I'm not having so much difficulty with the enemies here, which it's very good basically for making videos, because it means I'm not spending quite as much time running away and dying and going back from the entrance of the level. Because if you die, I haven't died on camera yet, so I can't really show you, but you basically have the choice. You can resurrect in town, which happens without a penalty, but you don't get a portal back to your corpse, so it might be that it takes a fairly long time to get back to where you died. You can choose to resurrect at the entrance of the level which you died in, so that would be my usual pick. It costs you some gold, so you lose 10% of the gold you have on you at the moment, but you resurrect at the beginning of the level. And then there's a third option, which is resurrecting exactly where you died, but that costs you experience and fame, and I'm not willing to pay that price. Paying gold is fine, because it's 10% is a lot, but you can keep that cost down by never carrying much money. There's no way to store money, so the only thing to do really is spend your money, but I tend to do that. So 10% of my gold is usually a small price, but the experience and fame I lose, obviously, just like anything else, I would get that back eventually. But I'd rather not lose any of it. I'd rather stay ahead of the level, basically. And one thing to note, if you are playing as a hardcore character, or very hard, you definitely also want the level advantage. but it is not necessarily recommendable to go into the Shadow Vault, because the Shadow Vault, it levels with you. And that means when I went in at level 1, or I don't know at which level I went in, the enemies were roughly at my own level. And when I decided just now to go back to it, the enemies had basically, like the first level had been reset, so the enemies were new ones, and they were still at my level, so they had gained in power. Which means they were actually substantially stronger than what I was facing in the story dungeon at that point. So if you are on a very hardcore and you need more experience, I would suggest going back through the story dungeon, because the enemies in here are fixed, like the levels are fixed. So you can actually out-level them and be at a substantial advantage. It also means you gain less experience, but you still get a lot from bosses, so it's fairly okay to basically go back and farm earlier levels in the story dungeon for experience. And it's less so in the Shadow Vault, basically. It's a lot more difficult, basically. But as you can tell right now with my ricochet, it doesn't take that many shots to kill bosses even. Like champions, I was gonna call them champions. So I can even handle champions with relative ease. And that's obviously largely helpful.
I don't have enough mana. Insufficient mana.
Hugely helpful. Largely helpful would imply it's only mostly helpful, but there's actually instances where it's not. So let's go with hugely, because I can't really think of an instance where it wouldn't be useful. Running low on scrolls again. Oh, and actually... when I gain my next level, I will also head back to town to get those nice boots I got. And those were not from the shared stash, in case you were wondering. I actually found these in the dungeon, so... yay for me! Obviously you're gonna miss stuff I do in the Shadow Vault, but the thing is, it's kind of... it's fairly boring, and since I will probably be sticking to doing the first levels over and over, I really don't want to record that. There's not much point. And I'm hoping to gain a level up before finishing this portion of the level. I would kind of need a boss for that, and there is one. Perfect. Yep, my pet is running away again. Guess I might as well give it a healing potion, because I'm at a point where the bigger ones start dropping. As you can see, I get big mana potions, and so I can afford to give my pet some of the lower ones. And work on the achievement, because there's an achievement for giving a certain number of potions to your pet, basically. level 7 enemies now, by the way, as you can see. But still, I'm 6 levels ahead of them. I would recommend, if you're playing on hardcore, to basically ensure that you're always 5 to 10 levels ahead of the level, I guess. To make it, I guess, easier. And if you're hitting the final stage of the game, which I will mention again when I actually get there, because giving you the name now would be meaningless, obviously. Quite honestly, at that point, level as much as you can possibly force yourself to.
My inventory is full.
Okay, my pet is full as well.
I can't carry anymore.
Which means back to town.
Well, hello.
Actually, yeah.
Good journey.
Okay, I can use the boots. Hey, which are kind of nice. They give me magic attribute, which is slightly pointless for me, but electrical resistance is good, faster attack is good, damage bonus is good, and they have a lot more armor than my old ones used to have. And actually, I might as well use the Deadly Chaos Jump. Why not? I could also spend my level up. I'm going with the usual 2 defense, 3 dexterity again, because I can now equip my boots. And since I can, I'm obviously boosting my ricochet. And my inventory is full of junk, but I'll work on that soonish. Yeah, one thing you really want to have when you're hitting that last part of the game is electrical resistance. You need a ton of it. Supposedly it's a glitch, and there is a mod to supposedly fix it, but I believe the developers never officially said it was a glitch. It's just sort of assumed because there's a certain type of enemy in that late game called Dark Zealot, which have a lightning attack, which has a sort of, it has an increased critical damage, which is 3 times as high as that of any other mob in the game. I believe most mobs have when they critical, it deals 50% more damage. Those zealots do 150% more damage. And that lightning attack can hit for 3,000–4,000 damage easily, so a big pain. But I'm not using the mod because I'm not entirely certain it's a bug, so I'm playing as the game is intended. And here we see the boss, the Overseer, which is troublesome because he keeps summoning stuff. So usually with boss fights who have ads, basically when they have minions, in case you're not familiar with the term, the usual strategy would be, or the one I would always use, is kill all the little guys and then focus on the boss, but he's summoning more. And basically each one you kill, he just resummons. So actually the tactic I'm using here is legging it and focusing the ricochet on him, because it flies through enemies, which means all his minions can actually block the damage, and because there's so many of them following me and the lightning effect and such, You will actually notice a slight drop in frame rate, but it's almost over, as you can see. There we go. And now I'm handling the rest of the little guys, the skeletons. I want to say minions, but I don't know if they're really minions as such. And don't want to say ads, because that's kind of an MMO term, which not everyone is going to be familiar with. And I'm telling you, this fight can be a lot more troubling. And I got a mysterious ring, which is nice. Scrolls, no, wrong scroll. Trias Band. Increase attack speed, cast speed, and tons of elemental resistances. Which I'm using over, I think, this one. And I just ate the Overseer's Eye. Yummy yummy, it increases my health permanently. This is another thing, if you really are struggling, or if you're worried about the about playing on hardcore, especially playing on very hardcore, what you can do is you can make new characters on easy hardcore. And on easy, the game really is quite easy, so you're not gonna die.
You have begun.
You've released the Overseer from his madness. Now we can investigate his library. Ah, here are his notes. He mentions searching for an ember forge in a dwarven fortress, much deeper in this mountain. He believed it would cleanse the corruption from his awakened ancestors. I will return here another time to learn more, but this ember forge sounds promising. Come, let's go further down. We may not have much time.
Okay, but it's gonna be a while before we find that Ember Forge. Point I was gonna make is make a character on easy hardcore, just whichever character you find fastest, I guess. Play through the game, kill the first few bosses, and basically you play it until the point I'm at right now. The reason it needs to be a hardcore character is because hardcore and softcore have different shared stashes. So, and what you do is, from fighting the first boss, Brink, I think, you gain that potion which increases your defense by 2. And from fighting the Overseer, you gain that eye which gives you 25 health. And you can trade these to other characters. They're not bound to a character. So if you're really worried about maybe not being able to hack it on very hardcore, just do that, say 10 times. And you when you start the new hardcore character on very hard, you will instantly have the say 250 additional health and the 20 additional defense. And obviously there's not really much of a limit to that. You can do that as long as you want, and you will have tons of health and tons of defense, which obviously help a great deal not dying. However, all that being said, I'm guessing this waypoint gate is a good place to stop the episode. Please leave me some feedback, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.